Hello and welcome. Before we start today, I want to ask you a question. A simple question. Right now, do you have money? Maybe you have coins in your pocket. Maybe you have a card in your wallet. Maybe you have money on your phone. We use money every single day. We use it to buy food. We use it to pay rent. We use it to travel, to learn, to live. Money is everywhere. But here is something very interesting. Something most people never think about. 5,000 years ago, there was no money. No coins. No paper. No banks. No credit cards. Nothing. So how did we get from nothing to the most powerful thing in the world? That is what we are going to find out today. This is Animated History English, where we learn history in simple English. Today's episode, the history of money. Stay with me until the end, because at the end of this episode, I will teach you 6 important English words from today's story. These are real words. Words you will hear in the news. Words you will read in books and articles. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's go back in time. Very, very far back. Imagine you are living 5,000 years ago. Maybe in Africa. Maybe in Asia. Maybe in Europe. It doesn't matter where. Because in every part of the world at this time, the life was the same. You wake up in the morning. The sun is just coming up. You go outside your small house. Maybe it is made of wood, or mud, or stone. You are hungry. So what do? You don't go to a supermarket. There is no supermarket. You don't order food on your phone. There is no phone. You don't pay for anything. Because there is no money. You go hunting. Or you go to your small garden and collect vegetables. Or you go to the river and catch fish. This is your life. You work hard every day just to eat. Just to survive. And this worked, for a while. But then something happened. People started to live together in bigger groups. Villages. Towns. Communities. And when people live together, something natural happens. Some people are good at one thing. Some people are good at another thing. Maybe you are a very good fisherman. You catch fish every day. You have more fish than you can eat. But you need bread. Your neighbor, she is a very good baker. She makes beautiful bread every day. She has more bread than she can eat. But she needs fish. So what do? Simple. You go to her and you say, "Hello? I have fish. You have bread. Let's trade." She says yes. You give her fish. She gives you bread. Everybody is happy. This system. Trading things without money is called barter. Barter. B-A-R-T-E-R, barter. It means I give you something. You give me something. No money needed. And for thousands of years, barter worked very well. But barter had a problem. A big problem. Let me explain with a story. Imagine you are still that fisherman. You have lots of fish. You are very hungry and you want bread. You go to the baker. You say, "Hello? I have fresh fish for you. Can I have some bread?" The baker looks at you. She looks at the fish. And she says, "No, thank you. I don't want fish today. I already have too much fish." Oh no. You have fish. She has bread. But she doesn't want your fish. So what do now? You go home with your fish. And you are still hungry. This is the big problem with barter. For barter to work, both people must want what the other person has. At the same time. In the same place. That is very, very difficult. There is a special phrase for this problem. It is called the double coincidence of wants. Double coincidence of wants. Don't worry, this is just a complicated way of saying both people must want the same thing at the same time. And in real life? That was almost impossible. Imagine trying to trade fish for shoes. How many fish is one shoe worth? 3 fish? 10 fish? Half a fish? Nobody knows. There was no way to measure value. So people began to think, we need something better. Something that everybody agrees has value. Something small. Something easy to carry. Something that doesn't go bad. Something everyone wants. And what they chose might surprise you. Are you ready for something surprising? The first types of money were not gold coins. They were not paper. They were salt. Yes, salt. The same white powder you put on your food. The same thing in the salt shaker on your table. Salt was once one of the most valuable things in the world. Why? Because salt does something very important. It preserves food. That means it keeps food from going bad. Before refrigerators, before electricity. Salt was the only way to keep meat and fish for a long time. So salt was incredibly valuable. Everyone needed it. Everyone wanted it. Salt was perfect money. And here is something amazing, something that connects the ancient world to your life today. In ancient Rome, about 2,000 years ago, Roman soldiers were sometimes paid in salt. They didn't receive gold coins. They received salt. And the Latin word for salt is sal. From that word sal, salt, comes the English word salary. Salary. Your salary. The money you earn from your job. It comes from salt. Isn't that beautiful? Every time someone says, "What is your salary?" they are using a word that is 2,000 years old. A word that came from salt. But salt was not the only early money. People also used cowrie shells. Cowrie shells, C-O-W-R-I-E, are small, smooth, beautiful white seashells. They are shiny and pretty and hard to break. Cowrie shells were used as money in Africa, in India, in China, for thousands of years. Some historians say cowrie shells were used as money for longer than any other object in human history. And then there are cows. Yes, cows were money. If you were rich, you had many cows. If you were poor, you had no cows. Even today, in some parts of Africa, a man's wealth is measured in how many cows he has. But the strangest early money? It comes from a small island in the Pacific Ocean. The island is called Yap. The people of Yap used money made of stone. Not small stones. Not pebbles. Giant stone wheels. Some of these stones were as tall as a grown man. Some weighed more than a car. How do you carry that to the market? You don't. The people of Yap didn't move the stones at all. Everyone in the village just knew who owned which stone. It was all based on memory and trust. And this teaches us something very important about money. Money doesn't need to be small. Money doesn't need to be gold. Money just needs people to agree it has value. We will come back to this idea at the end of today's story. Now, shells and salt worked. But they had problems too. Salt gets wet. Shells break. And cows are very difficult to put in your pocket. People needed something better. Something that lasted forever. Something small, strong, and easy to carry. The answer was metal. Around 600 BC, that means about 2,600 years ago, a powerful kingdom called Lydia made history. Lydia was in what is now the western part of Turkey. The king of Lydia had a brilliant idea. He took a mix of gold and silver, a natural metal called electrum, and he made small, round, flat pieces of metal. On each piece, he stamped the image of a lion, the symbol of his kingdom. These were the world's first official metal coins. Slow, and they changed everything. Why were coins so perfect? Think about it. A coin is small, you can carry hundreds of them. A coin is strong, it doesn't break or go bad. A coin is the same every time, each coin has the same weight and value. And a coin has the king's face or symbol on it, so everyone trusts it. Very quickly, within just a few hundred years, coins spread everywhere. To Greece, to Persia, to India, to China, to Rome, to Arabia, to Europe. The whole world started using coins. And something else very important happened. When coins spread, trade grew bigger. Before coins, you could only trade with your neighbor. With coins, you could trade with someone in another city, another country, another continent. Slow. Coins made the world more connected. And that connection, that trade between countries, is still happening today. Every single day. In every corner of the world. It all began with that first coin. In Lydia. 2,600 years ago. Coins were wonderful. But there was one problem. They were heavy. Imagine this. You are a merchant in ancient China. A merchant is a person who buys and sells things. You have just sold 1,000 bags of silk. You are very rich today. But your payment is 5,000 gold coins. 5,000 gold coins. Each coin weighs about 4 grams. That is 20 kilograms of coins. 20 kilograms. You need 2 strong men just to carry your money home. And tomorrow you need to travel to the next city to buy more silk. Are you going to carry 20 kilograms of coins on that journey? What about bandits on the road? What about rain? What about your back? Chinese merchants in the Tang dynasty, around 700 AD, had a brilliant solution. They went to a trusted person in their city. A person everyone trusted, like a banker today. They gave this person their heavy coins. And in return, they received a light piece of paper. This paper said something like, "The person holding this paper owns 5,000 gold coins. They are safe in our keeping." This paper was called jiaozi. Jiaozi. And it was the world's first paper money. Think about how revolutionary this was. You are carrying a small, light piece of paper. But that paper represents real gold. Real value. And when you arrive in the next city, you give the paper to another trusted person there. And they give you back your coins. Of course, this only works if people trust the paper. If people trust the system. And in China, they did. Here is an amazing fact. China had paper money in the year 700 AD. Europe did not have paper money until around 1300 AD. That is 600 years later. China was 600 years ahead of Europe. When European travelers like Marco Polo visited China in the 1200s, they wrote about paper money in their journals. Back in Europe, people thought they were lying. Paper money? Paper with value? That is impossible. Paper is just paper. But of course, as we know today, paper money is used everywhere in the world. It just took Europe a few hundred more years to understand what China already knew. As money grew, as trade grew, people needed a safe place to keep their money. Not under their mattress. Not buried in the ground. Not in a pot in the corner of their house. They needed banks. Now, do you know where the word bank comes from? It comes from the Italian word banca. Banca means bench. A wooden bench. Like a seat. Why? Let me tell you. In medieval Italy, about 600 to 800 years ago, there were no bank buildings. Instead, money traders sat at wooden benches in the middle of the street marketplace. At their bench, they would exchange coins from different countries. They would give loans, that means lend money to people. They would help merchants send money to other cities. These bench-sitting money traders were the very first bankers. Banca. Bench. Bank. And now, here is the most interesting part. What happened when one of these traders lost all his money? When he couldn't pay people back? When he was finished? The angry people who lost their money would come to his bench, and they would break it. They smashed the bench into pieces. A broken bench. In Italian, bancarrota. Broken bench. And from bancarrota, we get the English word bankrupt. Bankrupt. It means you have lost all your money and cannot pay your debts. So the next time someone says a company went bankrupt, remember the image of an angry crowd breaking a wooden bench in a medieval Italian marketplace. History is always hiding in our words. Let's now jump forward in time. Very far forward. The year is 1950. The place, New York City, United States. A businessman named Frank McNamara is having dinner at a restaurant. He is wearing a nice suit. He has an important business meeting. He orders a big meal, steak, wine, dessert. The dinner is finished. The waiter brings the bill. Frank reaches into his jacket pocket for his wallet. And his pocket is empty. He forgot his wallet at home. Can you imagine? A businessman. An expensive restaurant. No money. He was very, very embarrassed. His wife had to come to the restaurant and bring money to pay the bill. But Frank McNamara was not just embarrassed. He was thinking, why do I need to carry cash? Why can't I just pay later? And from that embarrassing dinner came one of the most important inventions in financial history. Frank McNamara created the first credit card. He called it the Diners Club card. A credit card means, buy now, pay later. The first Diners Club card was made of cardboard. It was accepted in just 27 restaurants in New York City. But the idea was revolutionary. You don't need to carry cash. You just show the card, eat your dinner, and pay at the end of the month. Today there are more than 3 billion credit cards in use around the world. All because one man forgot his wallet at dinner. Then came the internet in the 1990s. Suddenly, you could buy things from the other side of the world. You could send money to another country in seconds. Money became faster and faster. And then, in 2009, something completely new was born. Something that nobody had ever seen before. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency means digital money that is created and managed by computers and mathematics. Not by a government. Not by a bank. Not by any person. Just by computer code. Some people think Bitcoin is the future of money. Some people think it is dangerous. Some people think it is just a game. Nobody knows for sure. But one thing is true. Bitcoin showed the world that money can be completely invisible. No paper. No metal. Just trust in a computer system. Today you can pay with your phone. You can pay with your smartwatch. In some places, you can even pay with your face, facial recognition. Money became invisible. So, we traveled a long way today. From fish and salt, to cowrie shells, to stone wheels on an island, to the first gold coins in Lydia, to paper money in China, to wooden benches in Italy, to a man who forgot his wallet, to invisible digital money on a computer. Money changed so many times. But there is one thing that never changed. In all of human history, in every country, in every century, money only works because people agree it has value. Think about it. A gold coin has no power by itself. It is just a small piece of metal. A paper note is just paper. A Bitcoin is just a number on a computer. But when millions of people, billions of people, agree that it has value, it becomes the most powerful thing in the world. Slow, money is not gold. Money is not paper. Money is trust. Remember that the next time you hold a coin in your hand. Now, let's learn our 6 English words from today. Listen carefully. I will say each word, give you the meaning, and use it in a sentence. Try to repeat each word after me. Word number 1, currency. 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 Currency means the money that is used in a country. Example sentence. The dollar is the currency of the United States. Can you think of another currency? The euro. The pound. The yen. These are all currencies. Word number 2, barter. 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 Barter means to trade things without using money. Example sentence. In ancient times, people bartered fish for bread. Word number 3, merchant. 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 A merchant is a person who buys and sells things, especially in large amounts. Example sentence. The merchant traveled to China to buy silk and spices. Word number 4, salary. 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 Your salary is the money you receive from your job, usually every month. Example sentence. She got a new job with a higher salary. And remember, salary comes from the Latin word for salt. Word number 5, bankrupt. 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 Bankrupt means having no money and being unable to pay what you owe. Example sentence. The company spent too much money and went bankrupt. Word number 6, cryptocurrency. 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 Cryptocurrency is digital money created by computers, like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Example sentence. Many young people today invest in cryptocurrency. Excellent. 6 words. Say them with me one more time. Currency. Barter. Merchant. Salary. Bankrupt. Cryptocurrency. Very good. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope you enjoyed this story of money. And I hope your English got a little better today too. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to Easy History English. Each episode, a new piece of history in simple English with new vocabulary. And I want to ask you something. What was the most surprising thing you learned today? Was it the salt? The stone wheels? The forgotten wallet? Write and tell me. I really want to know. I will see you there. Goodbye, and keep learning.